I think we should take a look at this.
Just wondering, in terms of the conservative plan, how would you reduce greenhouse gases? I know you touched on that a little bit, but we haven't really heard a fleshed out plan from the conservatives on how you're going to reduce greenhouse gases.
Again, our approach is to lower the cost of alternatives rather than raising the cost of traditional energy we still need. That means quickly approving hydroelectric dams in, for example, Quebec, which needs to double its output of hydroelectricity over the next several decades in order to meet the demand for emissions-free energy. We need to green light tidal wave power off the East Coast, the kind that Trudeau blocked with years of bureaucracy. We need to speed up small modular nuclear reactors that will supply clean, green, emissions-free electricity onto the grid. We need to support carbon capture and storage that will allow industry to put emissions back underground where it came from. In other words, where Trudeau proposes taxes, I propose technology. Where he proposes to raise the cost of traditional energy we still need, I propose to lower the cost of alternatives. Where he wants to drive our jobs to dirty dictatorships, I want to bring home powerful paychecks for our people.
So, I mean, that seems like just a reasonable response. Fine, I have no problem with green energy, right? It's just that we shouldn't pretend that we can run a modern technological society off that. We do need to use the resources that we have, and also there are countries that want the resources that we have, right? Trudeau keeps saying no. Germany came, asked, can we get some natural gas, please? We got this thing happening with Russia right now. Trudeau said no. He just said no, flat out no. He said, well, we've got some hydrogen boondoggle you might be interested in 50 years. Japan, same thing. They asked for liquefied natural gas. Trudeau said no interest whatsoever. China and India are going to keep building coal plants, regardless of what Canada does. Canada cannot change the world climate. Canada, if it was wiped off the map tomorrow, would account for under 2% of the world's emissions. That's if Canada was wiped off the map. Okay, it would not make any difference. Canada, we are going to impoverish ourselves with a tax that will make the weather gooder. India, we crossed 1 billion tons in coal and lignite production. Narendra Modi, a remarkable feat, crossing 1 billion tons in coal and lignite production marks a historic milestone for India, reflecting our commitment to ensuring a vibrant coal sector. This also ensures India's path towards whatever that is, a vital sector. So this is what's happening in India. They're very proud of it, while Trudeau virtue signals to zero effect. Well, there is an effect. It's to impoverish Canada and Canadians, and to turn Canada from a first world country into a third world country, to make Canada no longer a wealthy country, but a poor country, along with everything else he's doing, by the way, flooding the country with mass immigration that we just simply can't handle, that we don't have the room for. We don't have places to put the people, for God's sakes. So that's what's really happening in the world. And at least Pierre Poilievre understands that. I mean, he was going to have something like this anyway, because you just have to. I mean, it's just politically in Canada, you have to. And you know what? Like modular nuclear power, great. If there's, green stuff that actually works, at least a little bit, fine. Why not use that too? I mean, who doesn't want cleaner air in cities, that sort of thing, right? But we can't go under this fantasy of this Agenda 2030 bullshit nonsense and this net zero nonsense. It's just not going to happen unless there is some unbelievable technological advancement that nobody is anticipating. Not in the next, really in like the next 50 years. Antipop says, eat the bugs. He's talking about Klaus Schwab, who penetrated the Canadian Trudeau's cabinet 50%. The projections for China and India will dwarf all Western output with CO2. That's completely true. That is true. That's why I say that Canada cannot change the climate. It's just not going to happen.